Hello City Line viewers, I'm Catherine Oxley from Bouq Paper Flowers. I designed this beautiful bomb peony to be a fun and easy way for you to DIY crepe paper flowers at home. You can display the flower alone or alongside fresh flowers and foliage to create stunning arrangements. All of the materials you'll need, the flower templates, and how to purchase Carte Fini crepe paper for the project are all in the downloadable file. Ready to get started? I'll see you in the studio. You need a piece that is 12 inches wide. Next, we're going to cut this piece in half because this piece will actually give you 2 flowers. So now that we have our piece, you'll notice that there's a grain to the paper. We always want this running vertically because when we stretch the paper, that's what's going to give the shape to our petals. So we're going to go ahead and cut the different pieces out for the flower. So the first one we're going to cut is going to be for that bomb peony center. And this piece is going to be 4 inches wide. Then we're going to need another 4-inch piece, which is going to be for the petals. And this piece here you can set aside. That is waste. Okay, so now we have our peony bomb centerpiece. There's a lot of texture to this paper, so we're going to stretch it out so that it becomes a little finer. So just grab both ends of the paper and we're going to give it a stretch by tugging it like so. And what we want to do is we want to stretch it out to about 25 inches. So let's see how we're doing there. We're going to do the same with this piece. Okay, so the piece that you have for the petals, we're just going to cut off the end 4 inches, and we're going to use that little piece to cover our tissue center, which we'll get to in a moment. So you've got a tissue center, a piece for your petals, and then the large piece for that big fluffy bomb. So we're going to take our bomb center piece, and what we want to do is put a fold all the way down the middle. Once you've made that fold, flip it over and fold it again in the other direction. Then you're going to grab your clips, take both ends, fold it in half, and fold it in half again. And we're going to use our clips to hold that crepe paper in place while we make our cuts. So now we want to go ahead and cut the folds that we've made when we folded the crepe paper. So you'll have a fold on this side and you want to cut it. Now don't cut it all the way down to the bottom. Leave about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. So all of your ends should be free. There shouldn't be any folds. Next, we're going to make a series of slits all the way down the paper. And just cut a nice round edge around each of them. Then we're going to flip it over and do the same on the other side of the petals. Once you finish that, we're going to go ahead and give the petals a little further shape by coming in on the edges and just cutting down slightly on an angle so that you're giving the petals a bit of a teardrop shape. The little pieces that are left hanging, just leave them on because peonies have all of those little pieces on the inside. Here's a fun part, we're going to do the twist. So we're going to twist each of these sections one way and then the other way. We'll alternate each one. We're going to take our clips off and we're going to unfurl our piece. And this is why we wanted that crease well set in, because now you're going to open up the whole thing and you're going to flip it around and fold it the other way. And there is the center of your peony. To make the center of our flower, we're going to take 2 pieces of tissue and just fold it over twice, like so. We're going to add a bit of hot glue onto the end and glue that onto the top of our floral wire. Then we're going to start wrapping it, twisting the paper as we wrap a couple of times to give it to some volume. We're going to do the same with the other piece. Now we remember we had that piece back from the beginning, that little 4" by 4" piece. We're going to use this to cover the top of this so that we don't see the tissue if we look down into the center of the flower. Now we're going to take our center and attach it to the stem. So just roll it a few times to get it started. We can then ease all of our center out and sort of fluff it outward to create, just gonna bend this, that nice fluffy center. So now we're going to work on the petals, taking the piece that you have left over for those, fold that in half, and just give that a cut down the center. This is going to give you 6 petals and 6 petals, and I've provided you with 2 templates to use to give you a bit of petal variation. So now to cup the petals, you're going to take it with your fingers on the bottom of the petal, slowly start to pull the paper apart from just the middle. Try not to go to the edges and not to the very top. And now we're going to attach them to the flower center. We're going to do 2 rows of 6 right around the flower. So here's a good tip. Let's start off by putting a little glue on our petal. We'll attach the first one here. Just make sure that you're covering that band of the bottom of the flower center so that that's covered. Now we're going to flip around and go directly opposite to that one and put another one on that side. That way we've marked the halfway point so that you now know how to space out the petals in between. So that's our first row. Now we're going to go ahead and place the second row in between each of these petals. And this time we're going to bring the petals a little farther down so that they touch the stem. So now we're going to work on the calyx and the leaves of the flower. So you'll have 5 pieces that you've cut out for the calyx. Make sure that you do stretch the crepe paper first. And then use your template to cut it out. I'm just going to cut it freehand here. And we'll set those aside. Now for the leaves, you'll have 3 pieces. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut these out on a diagonal. Then we're going to take each of the sides and we're going to flip them over like so, so that what we end up with is a grain pattern that goes out from the center that mimics a leaf. Now you're going to take your fine wire, and I'm just going to cut it in half just so it's not quite as long, and so that you'll have the 3 pieces you need for each of the leaves. And this is what we're going to create here. So we take both of our sides and we're going to add a little bit of glue right down the side of the one leaf like this. Then we're going to take our wire and put it into that glue line, being sure to leave a little bit of space at the top for when we cut out our leaf. Take the other side, place it on top, and press down. Once you've completed your 3 leaves, you can use your template to cut them. So once you have your 3 leaves ready, we're going to put them together so that we can then apply them to the stem. We're going to take our floral tape, and you want to stretch the floral tape first to activate the glue. Place it at the base, and then just with your fingers, just start rolling it like that. And then start slowly pulling and wrapping it down all of those wires. Let's set that aside and apply our calyxes to the base of our flower. Now with that completed, it's time to wrap. So we'll take our floral tape again, stretch, attach to the base of the flower, hold it in place. To attach the leaf, we're just going to give it a slight bend to help us. And then we can place it up close to the top of the flower so that it frames it nicely. I'd love to see the flowers you've created, so tag me on Instagram with #StudioBouq and visit me at bouqpaperflowers.com for more crepe paper flower inspiration and tutorials. Thanks for watching.